Okay, let's go ahead and get started to maximize our time. Hello and welcome. My name is Rebecca Davis, and I am the Career Services Manager at UAGC. I will be the host of this session, Fulfilling the Hope of Belonging, Strategies for Higher Education. By joining us today, you acknowledge that this session is being recorded and will be shared with TLC-related materials. Microphones will be muted for this presentation. However, you are welcome to post comments in the chat. There will not be time for Q&A at the close of this session. However, if you would like to post a comment in the chat and would like a response from our presenter, please include your email address. Also, we have enabled live transcription. If you would like to use it, click the Show Captions button at the bottom of your Zoom window. Now, without further ado, I'm pleased to introduce to you Karen Jensen, Associate Faculty at the University of Arizona Global Campus. Karen, take it away.
Thank you, Rebecca. Imagine a world where every student feels truly connected to their college experience, a world where they find their passion, excel in their studies, and thrive personally. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this session on strategies for belonging in higher education. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the journey of belonging and about the current landscape of belonging in higher education. Then, I will introduce a groundbreaking framework that reimagines belonging as a three-dimensional architecture, customized and personalized for each student's unique learning style and learning personality. I'm Karen Jensen, and I'm an expert in current to future state transformations. Throughout my career, I've designed transformative solutions for small and micro businesses in emerging markets and for Fortune 500 companies. I've built dynamic change management strategies across the industry domains of telecommunications, healthcare, fintech, and my favorite, information and emerging technologies. I've created innovation ecosystems in the fields of education, nonprofits, NGOs, governments, and private industry. There's a lot of things I've learned, but the one thing I've really focused on in all of my journeys is that successful transformations take deep dives into root causes, exposing undiscovered weaknesses and building on infrastructure strengths. Most importantly, they celebrate human capital as the key to long-lasting change and success. Together, we can revolutionize higher education and create a future where learning and belonging are harmonized for every student. Today is voting day, so I know we might have some time constraints. As Rebecca said, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me in the chat. If you have a question, please leave your information. You can also connect with me in the Whova application, either mobile or desktop. You can also connect with me via LinkedIn. And if you saw in the previous screen on slide 2, my LinkedIn profile, you can get to that from the LinkedIn emblem. And it will also be available from the references screen. That'll be slide 18 if you're counting at the end of this presentation. Thanks again for joining, and we'll get started in a minute. But I do want to do some quick mentions. I want to thank the staff of the TLT team at UAGC for their unwavering support on this topic. And that includes Mallory and Rebecca and their support today. That support, that feedback, and the interest in this topic contributed significantly to my presentation today. So I just want to let you know that your support is appreciated and recognized. Additionally, before we start that poll, I just want to tell you, I am reading notes today. And the reason I'm doing that is we have a short time period and there's a lot of information, so it helps me to stay on track and on target. But I understand that for some types of learners, this can be disruptive. If for some reason that bothers you to see me reading, please let someone know in the chat, and I'm happy to turn off my camera. Thanks again, and we can get our poll started, Mallory, so if you could put that up. I started this poll in the Whova application, and I had some unexpected responses, so I wanted to repeat it here. So we'll give this poll a try now, and then we'll repeat it again before we close to see if the responses and the outcomes change. So where does your sense of belonging come from? Your organization, your peers, or from within yourself? And we'll give it to about 20 seconds or so everyone gets a chance to vote. Okay, I think we can go ahead and move. Oh, we've got some. We've got some there. Okay. I believe that'll continue on, but I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next screen. There we go. Okay, well, the journey towards belonging has taken many roads. I think we can agree on some major milestones along the way. In 1964, President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a landmark legislation in the United States that outlawed segregation in public places and prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, or national origin. In fact, this legislation continues to govern educational institutions under Title VI legislation. The journey of the Equal Rights Amendment, which states equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on the account of sex. That journey began as early as 1923. But to this day, this amendment has not been fully ratified into the Constitution. And that's why you see that date range there is 1923 to 2024. I encourage you to review the history of the Equal Rights Amendment and its current challenges as we continue to work towards full ratification of this amendment. This legislation covers educational institutions under Title IX. While DEI initiatives have roots in affirmative action, in 2011, President Obama signed an executive order establishing a coordinated government-wide initiative to promote diversity and inclusion in the federal workforce. So what does DEI mean and why does it matter? Well, we can take a look at it from these acronyms. Diversity is a metric from the civil rights lens. It's a demographics measurement. And it might be age diversity, it might be neurodiversity, gender diversity, ethnic or cultural diversity, and racial diversity. To experience diversity, a student might ask, do I see someone who looks like me? Someone who understands my cultural values? And do I see these people not just in my peer groups, but in leadership and decision-making roles? In equity, we define not only the fair treatment of everyone, but also we include the possibility we all have or don't have to achieve an equal outcome. We often see equity defined in terms of equal pay for equal work across all demographic segments. For inclusion, from an organizational perspective, inclusive policies create an environment where each person has the ability to achieve their full potential and to achieve that potential while exhibiting their true and authentic selves. So why does DEI matter? I found a great quote on this from an article by Jill Anderson at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it states both Fortune 100 and the military say diversity is something that's critical to our ability to be competitive. Having a diverse population and having students have an opportunity to learn from each other and to be exposed to each other's identities is such an important part of what makes us competitive economically, socially, and politically. So that can't go away. Recently, we've witnessed a shift away from DEI initiatives. While many educational institutions are now prioritizing belonging, their strategies often lack a critical and crucial component: student input. Instead of top-down approaches, we need to foster collaborative and human-centered models that empower students to define and shape their own experiences of belonging. So why is belonging important and how is it different from DEI? Well, it turns out that belonging is a fundamental human need, deeply intertwined with our motivation and our sense of well-being. While DEI initiatives focus on demographic diversity, equal pay, and policies for fair treatment, belonging celebrates the unique qualities and perspectives of each individual. In belonging, we also celebrate the opportunity for each individual to contribute based on their unique, multidimensional perspectives. By fostering this customized and personalized sense of belonging, educational institutions can unlock the full potential of their students. For institutions, this can lead to increased enrollment and retention. For students, this can lead to improved academic and professional outcomes. From Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we can see that our sense of belonging comes right before our need to be unique individuals. Here at the University of Arizona Global Campus in our current state, we start with our culture of care to build student success strategies. This organization-driven strategy includes the pillars of communication, advocacy, respect, empowerment, and student-centered success strategies that together offer students the opportunity to thrive academically, personally, and professionally. In our future state, what if we thought of belonging as a framework where students could customize their learning journey within the infrastructure of the UAGC ecosystem? And there might be three ways that we could combine to do that. Number one, identify, define, and measure the student-centric and student-driven elements of belonging. Number two, identify and define the andragogy of UAGC. And number three, what we're going to talk about today is the human-centric learning framework, which harmonizes institutional andragogy with the student-driven elements of belonging. And how we might build those three elements is number one, in collaboration with the UAGC Human Resources and student groups like the Global Black Community, the Latinx Club, and the Women in Technology Club, we can develop a comprehensive framework for defining and measuring student belonging. Via student and faculty surveys, focus groups, and interviews, we can capture the specific language that students use to identify what belonging means to them. And we can map their unique learning styles and personality traits to customized curriculum strategies that maximize student outcomes. So some of our framework ingredients here might include the ESFT and the ENFP. These are Myers-Briggs personality types. These two personality types indicate a social personality. So for these types, a group environment could be included in the learning architecture to add a more social context to their course experiences. Some additional framework ingredients might include learning style assessments from the Stanford Global and VARC assessments. These assessments identify learning styles like visual, auditory, read and write, and hands-on learning types. We can identify each student's emotional quotient, or EQ, sometimes called emotional intelligence, in their unique learning ecosystem. These components identify how, as individuals, we manage, understand, use, and perceive emotions. High student EQs are often associated with improvements in academic performance and reduced stress in learning. Our locus of control elements might be things like a student's belief in fate, or in a more self-directed outcome. These beliefs are often rooted in cultural identities. And last, we might use Big Five personality types like introverts or extroverts. It's important to note that personality and learning styles are dynamic and they change over time. To effectively support student growth, we'll also consider Vygotsky's Zone of Proximal Development, or ZPD. This framework emphasizes collaborative interactions between students, their peers, and their instructors. By creating an environment where students can receive supportive and constructive feedback, both with more experienced peers and with their instructors, we can help each student reach their full potential. I don't know if anyone had the opportunity to listen to the opening segment this morning, but our SVP of Online Initiatives, Dr. Gary Packard, was also talking about ZPD this morning. So it's a common topic in today's sessions. Number two, we'd identify and define the andragogy of UAGC. In this student-driven andragogy, we define adult learning strategies where the emphasis is not just on content, but on the process, protocols, and the instructor is a partner and a facilitator in student learning. At UAGC, some examples of these include our unique online learning ecosystem and our faculty use of the Socratic method for feedback, which builds and encourages strategies for critical thinking via listening, reflecting, challenging, and supporting student responses in a collaborative style. In Learning Objective 3, we merge this organizational andragogy that we've identified in number 2 and the student-centric and student-driven elements of belonging that we identified in number 1. And the result of this merge is the Human-Centric Learning Framework, or HCLF, which harmonizes institutional learning principles with individual student needs. This framework moves beyond simple demographic personas and categorizations to personalized inputs that customize learning ecosystems and empower students to reach their full potential. Now that we have all of our ingredients or our components for the framework, we can implement that framework and measure its impact. By tailoring the curriculum to individual student needs using personality and learning assessments, we can customize the learning experience based on the results of these assessments. As an example, our assessment feedback model at UAGC includes 2 response types: a traditional text-based feedback response and a video-based feedback response. For students that might have identified as auditory or visual learnings in a VARK assessment, the video-based feedback response might provide a more robust learning experience in line with their ZPD. This is a simple example, but it illustrates the potential of the framework for improved student outcomes and performance. We're also accumulating anonymous data to identify predictive analytic patterns, measure outcomes, and make changes where necessary for continuous improvement from a learning perspective. Data gives us the power to make decisions that have value, not just for the institution, but for faculty and students in equal parts. This continuous learning cycle allows us, as educational institutions, to enhance our ability to adapt and evolve student-driven architectures. For interpretation and application, we can then design personalized learning plans and incorporate career counseling strategies for students based on these customized results. As institutions, these data mining practices can also use to define organizational development goals and objectives and take deeper dives into evolving research and evaluation strategies for optimized adult learning. This results-oriented framework represents a living life cycle of a personalized learning environment for each student, capable of quickly adapting to change. Now, we're here at poll 2, so I know we've had a lot of information today. So have your answers changed based on the information presented here? If they have, that's okay. It's a good indicator that our sense of belonging is open to change as we incorporate new information. We'll give it a couple of seconds. Okay, I think that's good. I think we're ready to move on. Thank you, Mallory, for that. In today's session, I've hoped that I've conveyed both the message for the 21st century hope for belonging in higher education and how the prototype human-centric learning framework can facilitate this adaptive learning ecosystem. These few changes could bring significant advancement in student outcomes, financially, professionally, and spiritually. I think today I have democracy on the brain because of the presidential election and today being voting day, but I think we can expand on the more traditional definition of the word pluralism from a political context. The concept of pluralism originated in ancient Greece and is defined as a key element of democracy, where diverse opinions and people exist in harmony and together move us towards solutions for the common good. I think that the human-centric learning framework and its methodologies can also drive us as institutions, faculty, and students towards a common good. Here you'll find a list of references that I used for today's materials. Again, please use these references as you see fit to do further research on these topics. At the top there, you will see my LinkedIn profile, and these sessions will eventually be published, so don't worry if you miss them, you can find them later on. Thank you all for attending today. I appreciate your time, and thank you again to Mallory and to Rebecca for supporting my effort today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Karen, for that wonderful presentation. And thank you to our audience for joining us today. Please use the survey link that I'm about to drop in the chat. And to nominate TLC presentations for conference awards and share your feedback on your conference experience. We look so forward to hearing from you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.